Hello, Andrew here. I'd like to show you my interactive synth demo I'm trying to do with Unreal 5 and Blueprints and Metasounds. Let's take a look. Cool. So yeah, as you can see, the boxes are weighing down the keys. They're acting as overlaps, and the player is also can act as an overlap too. And same with these dials. So let's check out the Metasounds. So this is always playing, and I just have these inputs, trigger inputs, that will turn the key on and off on the box collision. On, off, trigger toggle. Right now it's activating a saw wave, and it's going through a trigger routing, which allows you to activate different trigger inputs and route them. So in the future, I'm going to make a square wave switches, triangle wave switch, and so on and so forth. These are all named the same as the next key, which is key C# is here, and those will all activate the. Here, I'll just show you. Yeah. And we have that going through a mixer. And here's the filter. We've got float values for the float value input for the cutoff frequency, resonance, LFO frequency. Some of them I haven't done yet. And I have the bit crush over here that you saw there. And going through the output. Heading over to the blueprint, we see the key bed here. And all those keys. So we have box collisions for each key. And on overlap, whether it's a box or character or whatever, is there's an execute trigger parameter, and it's gathering the meta sound. So this isn't playing it, it's just the target. And we're telling it to turn off and on the C input. So make sure these names are exactly like the input triggers you have in Metasounds, and then that will work. So I just have one octave right now. I'd like to do more in the future. Maybe a sub oscillator. Right here we have, actually, you know what? I'll show you the dial first. This is an example of one of the dials. So this is the filter cutoff dial. Again, there's a box collision, and it's enabling an input from the player controller. It allows you to press a key. So I have this as the X and the Z key. And when you press the X key, it starts the timeline, it plays it. And when you release it, it stops it. So it only plays it when you hold down the key. And then the Z key is reversing the timeline and stopping when you release the key as well, which allows you to move the dial up and down and affect the whichever variable you want. So that's going through a timeline, and it's giving it's feeding the rotation of the dial right here, rotation. And I have a variable here. So if we head over to the master keyboard, on event begin play, it's I'm getting all of these actors, these being the blueprint that I just showed you. So for example, this one is the cutoff, this one's the resonance. So they're all individual dial blueprints that I made. I've made a reference, and I'm setting that here. And here are the actions. So here we have on event tick, meaning every frame. We have it setting a float parameter, the target being the Metasounds master keyboard, and a very specific name that in Metasounds. So this is the cutoff frequency float This is the range of the float variable, and this is the variable from the previous blueprint you saw, and then the filter cutoff reference from up here, if I'm explaining that properly. Yeah, so that's basically it. I'd like to just keep expanding on this idea and eventually, you know, pick up boxes and having the player put them down. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I hope I explained everything properly. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know.